Okay, in this video, what I'm going to show you is the new version of our SAP HANA database connector for XPO. So here what we have is a SAP HANA instance, like it's running on a Linux server, it's basically Contabo server. I think it's Ubuntu 18, and basically we have only like the default databases here. Here we have the system database because we're going to use system for this example, and here we have some tables that I created before with other users to see how the security works. So here we have, or this is the test project for our connector. So as you can see, it references the SAP HANA client. This is actually like an old version of the framework, so it's 4.5, and there is a 3.5 version also, but it basically targets an old framework, and that's the newest version that there is. So for the moment we have to stick with this. And well, basically here we have all the necessary classes for connect. Basically we have an XPO provider, we have a test ORM, we have the test, like the CRUD test and the relationship test to see that everything is working fine. And basically that's it. And what we have here is this is a SAF.NET application. It's still not Blazor or .NET Core. It's pure net. So this application targets framework 4.8. So basically it can see the driver, the provider that is on 4.6.2. Okay, so we have the provider in here, and as you know, when you have a provider, what you have to do is just register it in a part of your application at the beginning. So in here, in the program, as soon as we start the application, we write this line. We are registering the SAP HANA provider for XPO. And you can do the same in the web application. So here you do it in the, no, it's not in this one, it's in the global here. So here we have it. So after that, it means that XPO is able to understand a custom connection string that you create when you create a provider. So this is registering that and informing XPO that when it sees some provider name in the connection string, it creates the provider by reflection. So after that, if you go to the application configuration here, so connection string, see the provider is, our provider is BitXariSapHana. The IPO for SAP HANA server, the port of the instance, because in SAP HANA you have instances by port, and the user that we're going to use, and the system password. There are other overloads of the connection string that you can include the database and other with the database and schema, depending on how you have set up your database actually. So this is the most simple case, I think. So after that, this is basically a SAF application. I try to load the most modules possible. So as you can see, we have like almost all modules implemented. And well, let's run the application to see how it works. So basically what's going to happen is that it's going to populate this database and this schema. And here we will have the SAF tables. So let's run this and let's see. And well, in this application, let's see the code again. We have only like a domain object in here, just for the purpose of registering a local type. is actually empty, as you can see. Because it's just a test object to see if it's able to create GUID type of keys. And basically the types that we're using are here. We are registering the types from the other assembly, and then we are adding the attribute, the full class option, by um, adding the instance of the attribute in the type info. So, well, let's see. The application is still running. I guess it's checking the schema already. Yeah, there it goes. And let's check what it did. I don't have the output in this, so we cannot see it. Well, anyway, let's go and check the database here. And see, we have all the tables. Okay, so let's create some records. Let's add some customers. This might take some time, but it's because of how my server is set up. Because it's a remote server, it's in Germany, and I'm in El Salvador, and the internet is not so good in here. So, okay. Name, this will be me, of course. Then let's do some brothers. And now let's add my actual brother. And let's close this. So here we have 3 records, and let's see. Let's go to the database and customers. So view table. Here we have the records that I just created. Let's add another one. Hector Yasmani, Russia. And let's save and close. And let's go and check. Sometimes this takes time to refresh, but is this tool, like, you have to close this and view the table again. See, there it is. So the miracle of open source is free, but it doesn't work that well. Okay, so as you can see, we're able to create records. Let's update one. I'm in Russia also. And my brother is in El Salvador. And Javier is in United States. Let's see if it refreshes this time. No, we have to close it again. See, so basically we're able to run like the full functionality of any other XPO provider. So it's fully implemented already. What we're doing at the moment is that before we release the final version, we're going to include some options. For example, if you use Oracle, Postgres, and maybe also DB2 or DB2 normal, it can be the same case, I think. How you handle the schema names, how long are the properties, and if you're going to use upper or lower cases, it's really, really important in the setup, because basically you do it like by organization. So those are not the options of a normal XPO provider. So we want to include that functionality to be able to set up those options. Like, for example, the casing, because the queries are generated in different way if you use lower cases than if you use upper cases, and also that affects how long the objects names can be. The same happen in Oracle. So we will include those options for the connection string and also for a configuration object. And basically that's it. At the moment, this is only working with Net Framework, so not Net 5 or Net Core. But if we manage to get our hands in Net Core provider, I think we can just run the same test and it will work basically the same. So, well, that's it for this video. So, see you guys on the next video.